Good morning. I'm about to head up to the Lake Norman State Park 30K. There's a 30K and there's a 50K, but I'm doing the shorter distance. It's still 30K though. So here's all my gear for the race. I'm gonna wear a Reckless running singlet like I always do. This one has Davidson Area Running Team on it. These are the Gooder Wrap G sunglasses. I don't know if I'm gonna need sunglasses today. It might be overcast. I'm going to try using the Martin Gel 160 today, which is the same thing as their regular Gel 100. It's just a larger serving. And I don't know if I'll take all 4 of these or if I'll just take 3 of them, but I'll carry fewer of them and take them less frequently. It's a 30K, but it's on the trails, and the time on foot will be a little bit closer to a marathon. So I've been fueling like I would for a marathon. Rabbit Speedster short tights, so that I have enough pockets for these gels and for any other effects. These are Injinji trail socks, actually. So they are a mid-weight variety, a little bit heavier weight than the lightweight that I usually wear. They have this extra padding up here at the cuff. They're also a blend of Cool Max and merino wool, so they, they're a little bit softer against the foot, and they stay dry a little bit better, I think. And then this is actually only my second run in the Saucony Endorphin Rift. I took them out on a short run a couple days ago because these were a Black Friday purchase, and I think they're probably going to be pretty good for today's race, so we will find out. Hey buddy, just taking Con for a walk before I head up to Lake Norman State Park to pick up my packet and race the 30K. 30K is such an interesting distance because there's not many race distances that sit between the half marathon and full marathon like that, and it's almost right halfway between. I've done a few 30Ks actually. A couple of others that are very different events. There is the Salem Lake trail races, which are not really trail at all. It's more like an unpaved path. It's pretty much a road 30K that's mostly unpaved. And that one you almost treat like a heavy half marathon. It's just fast. So you're certainly running faster than marathon pace, pretty much between your half marathon pace and your marathon pace. So more like your steady state pace. And then I've done the Table Rock 30K, which actually is more than 30K. It was close to 21 miles. Anyway, it was definitely more on the marathon side of things. In fact, I took more time to run that than I normally would for a marathon. And that was more on that was in conjunction with Table Rock 50K, which is a mountain ultra. I think Lake Norman State Park 30K, having run on the course a couple of weeks ago, it's going to be kind of right between those two. I'll be spending time on foot, not quite equal to a marathon. I'm hoping under 2.5 hours though, maybe in the low 2 hours. Who really knows? The GPS is not good out there, so I won't be looking at my watch a whole lot today. But it is all trail. However, unlike Table Rock, it's all runnable. So I will be running fast, but it'll still probably be slower than marathon pace for sure. We'll see. It's going to be fun because I'm not really looking for a time goal. I'm just going to be out there to race. And that's just a different feeling. It's kind of liberating, actually. Here in packet pickup just opened, but there's already a decent line there. There's a lot of people here for an ultra. This is a 50K and a 30K, but I still think there's fewer than 200 people for both events combined. I guess everyone just wants to be here early. Overcast, nice morning otherwise. Another cool bib number for another race. Battleship Half, I was 707, and I'm 303 for this one. Kind of like that. Only palindromes for now on. So it rained quite a bit yesterday in the area, and I think the trails are going to be the perfect combination of soft and fast. Soft enough to get a good dig with the trail lugs, but not sloppy. So should be good on the legs. Decently fast running. Well, as fast as you can do, you know, on rolling hills and hairpin turns and whatever. But as long as I don't roll an ankle again, should be a pretty fun day.
On course, might be kind of, hey, attention, there's a turn or something coming up. So these and these type, which are going to be staked on the ground, are really the only two things you guys got to be paying attention to.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Let's get on each other's channel.
I'm CJ.
I'm Chaz. Nice to meet you.
Good luck today.
Yep.
Come on up, ladies. Don't be shy.
Rob, I'm racing you to the trees, buddy.
There you go. All right.
What tree?
GoPro inception.
Now listen up, this course, it gets tight quick, and what I mean by tight, it gets a single track, okay? So if you guys are fast, or if you think you're fast, now's the time to come up, okay? There's nothing more annoying is to you get like 100 yards in and somebody's like on your tail, like wanting to win the thing, okay? So if you're that person, you have a free opportunity right now to come up to the line. Okay, I'd not like to see any of that during the race. Okay, now is your opportunity to be a hero. All right, we're going to start in 30 seconds. Go.
Critical turn ahead. Thanks, guys. See you, everyone. Thank you.
You got one loop.
This is Matt. Say hi, Matt.
What's up?
About a half hour in, he and I are at the front of the 30K pack.
Get better.
Woohoo!
Fuck yeah.
Oh, come on. Ah, that one's tough. There we go.
work.
Just rolled an ankle. So I'm gonna hang back a little while. So after I rolled an ankle, I went ahead and waved Matt on, and he's opened up a good bit now in the past 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll see what happens on the back end. Probably about an hour of racing left, maybe less. Ankle's starting to feel better. Not gonna try and hunt him down. Just see if he comes back to me. I think he's got about 30 seconds on me now. So it's feeling a little better. It's gonna be very sore tomorrow, or even later today. I'm able to run, but I'm gonna have to guard it, so I won't be running all out. I don't know if anyone else is close behind me or not, so we'll see if I can hold on to second overall, first Masters. Starting to move pretty well again. Matt's nowhere in sight. I think I'm gonna be all alone for the next 40 minutes, or however long it takes to finish this race. I am content with that. Got eyes on the third place runner. He's still a ways back, but he's moving pretty well. I'm not gonna be able to just jog this in. Gotta move. There's the bridge. That means about a quarter mile left till limp in on this ankle. Let's get it. 30K finish. There it is.
Nice job, man.
Thank you.
Awesome work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I could just grab your picture over here if since you did get it, I would.
All
Kind
right.
of like to post that stuff.
All right. Well, that's that. Got first place Masters, was second overall. Got some other little swag for that. Looks like Ultra Aspire water bottle, which is good because I don't have a lot of good water bottles. I might use that for Umstead, a marathon, which is a cupless race. Yeah, I'm gonna put some clothes on and then get some food, and then see if they have any ice for this ankle. Okay, it's race recap time. We're gonna do this while we're taking Con on a walk again. Mainly it's so we can get out of the house. Heidi's, battling a virus right now, so we're gonna let her rest and get this boy outside and see if I can keep this ankle moving while I recap the Lake Norman State Park 30K race. Yeah, so great day for running. It is, right now it's close to 60 degrees, high 50s, low 60s. When it started, it was about 53 degrees. I guess that's, right around 10 degrees Celsius. That's good running weather. You could probably tell there was a lot of fog in the air, still overcast, now, which means it was pretty humid, but me being in just a singlet, I think I was dressed pretty well for that. I was pretty much sweaty, but not soaking throughout the whole run. Good boy. But yeah, so the weather was good. Set off at a pretty quick pace, but it was a relaxed, quick pace. And it was pretty evident from the start that it was going to be me and Matt, the eventual winner, who were just going to kind of be up front, way ahead of the rest of the pack the whole time. We weren't really looking behind us, but I don't think anyone else was kind of in our sphere of influence there. And we were having conversation, pretty cordial, getting to know each other for the first hour or so, hour and 15 minutes, I would say, just kind of running together. He was kind of running on my shoulder most of the time. I was familiar with the trails. He had never been there, so he just said, well, I'm just going to lock onto you. I said, cool. When there were checkpoints where you had to punch our bibs, and we, waited for each other to do that because we were, I think, just content to run with each other for most of the race. The first 2.5 to 3 miles were on the Laurel Loop, which can get pretty technical, but I don't think that's the most technical part of the course. When we crossed Wildlife Road and got into the Wildlife Loop, which is actually 3 concentric loops, that loop, that kind of spin off of each other. It's like Inception, a loop within a loop within a loop. Those are actually, I think, the best parts of the trail to run on. Very runner friendly. Not as many just, acute ups and downs as you would get on mountain bike trails a lot. Still a few of those features, but just very smooth. I was able to, throw in a few surges there and see if Matt was going to stick with me or not, and he was. When we were just about to get out of that part of it, which would be close to, mile 10.5, I mean, not by GPS, but by actual distance, that's when I rolled my ankle pretty bad. And it was the same ankle I rolled a couple weeks ago, pretty much in the same part of that course. So I'm just having bad luck out there on the Lake Norman State Park trails. Also, I just have weak ankles in general. So I'm prone to rolling. And it was bad enough that I had to just, stop and walk for a few steps. And I just waved Matt on. I said, go, man, go. And I think he smelled blood in the water because then he picked it up after that. I was able to get running a few seconds later, but I was not going to maintain the pace that he was throwing on there. Although I was able to run fairly quickly, I wasn't going to be running as fast as I was for the first, 80 minutes of the race or so. It looked like we had opened up a lot of distance on the rest of the field, so I was content to just kind of maintain and, not really jog it in, but just kind of run it in at a steady pace. When you roll your ankle, it automatically becomes weaker and it's prone to roll again. So there were a few more times on those back 8 miles or so where it wanted to roll again, where something would catch, it would twinge, and it was no good. So I was just content to finish the race. I was pretty sure I was kind of going to be in a no man's land there, not in reach of catching Matt for first place, but still had second place locked up. And since they only do awards for first overall and first masters, I needed to hold on to that second place in order to get first masters, because there were a lot of people in my age group at this race, more than you would expect. I think if you saw the video, it was pretty much just more the same. The legs were rubbery, with all of the up down, 1,600 feet of gain, 1,600 feet of loss on mountain bike courses, which are just up, down, and, these, roller coasters. Then that really just beats up your legs, especially since you're trying to, keep stable on an unstable surface on the trail. You're using those stabilizer muscles you wouldn't often use on the road. Makes you a strong road runner, but it definitely wears you out until you just spend more time on the trails, which is kind of why I'm trying to get on the trails more this season anyway. I think within 2 miles or 1.5 miles of the finish, it's hard to gauge the distance because, of course, the GPS is crap out there. But I would say within 12 to 15 minutes of the finish, I did put eyes on the third place runner. And it was one of those things where you're catching him on a switchback. You're seeing him on a switchback. But that switchback, even though he's 50 feet away from you, that could be 3/4 of a mile on the course. And I think, hold on, let me take care of what Khan's doing here. All right, so that's done. So anyway, I saw the third place runner on one of the switchbacks, and I was pretty sure I was still a few minutes ahead of him. But seeing someone else on the course after not seeing people on the course is still kind of a sobering experience. So I was like, yeah, he's seeing me, so he's of course gonna pick up his pace too. So I had to just keep moving. There was no, I mean, I was trying to guard the ankle, but I couldn't just, walk it in or jog it in. I had to keep moving and, keep the pressure on in order to maintain my place. And it's a good thing too, because like I said, he was in my age category. He was a Masters runner. So if he had caught up to me and overtaken me, then I would have gotten nothing as far as awards, aside from a finisher's medal. And I know we don't necessarily race for the awards and everything, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't competitive. I did say before this race that I was going out there to race it, not really worrying about time. So if I'm going to go out to race, then yeah, I'm going to have that competitive racing mentality. Anyway, having previewed the course, I knew about how much space I had left to run, and I just figured if I keep on moving forward, he's not going to catch me. I could hear the cheers coming from the finish area when I presume Matt crossed the finish line, and I think that was about 5 or 6 minutes, maybe less, before I crossed the finish line. I was still, I hadn't gotten within sight of the bridge yet. I could see the lake, but I hadn't gotten within sight of the bridge that I was going to have to cross over. But it came more quickly than I thought, and then I knew that no one was going to catch me, so I kind of just jogged it into the finish, and was happy with, I guess I was happy with my time. I didn't really have a time goal for that one, but I was happy with second place and first Masters. And it was good to meet Matt and his wife and hang out with them for a little while and cheer some of the other 30K finishers as they were crossing, and shout a good luck to some of the 50K runners as they were passing through on their way to get to the back part of their race. So that is my race recap. I guess I would be remiss if I didn't do a shoe talk. I'm still wearing the shoes right now. The Saucony Endorphin Rift. And this is my second run in them, actually. Up until earlier this week, I was planning on racing in the Topo Mountain Racer 3, which was the one and only trail shoe that I had planned to get this season. But with Black Friday sales making it really easy to pick up a pair of Endorphin Rift, I decided to pull the trigger. I followed the advice of some customer reviews and some other shoe reviewers and went up a half size from my regular size. So I'm actually wearing a men's US 10 in the Endorphin Rift, and I think the fit is pretty spot on. You might say I have a hair more length than I usually do in the front of it, but I think the width where my toes are is spot on. And I can tell that even though there's a little more length than I'm used to, if I were to go a half size down, it would be a hair short. And then I think it might be a little bit more tapered at the front, so it might be a little bit squeezed. I didn't feel like I was moving around a lot. I think with this lace enclosure system and the way the vamp is made and these overlays that tie everything in, the foot is locked down from the top of the foot, all the way up to, where the mouth of the shoe meets the ankle. And it's kind of a one-piece booty construction, which I'm not always a fan of, but it works here. So don't think you have the lockdown at the toes necessarily, but it's kind of not needed. In fact, with going a half size up, my toes were able to splay a little bit. And if you've followed my shoe reviews at all, then having a little bit of toe splay room in my shoes is something I generally like. So the fit, if you consider going a half size up from what you normally would, I think worked really well for me. It is a full PIBA midsole. It is their Power Run PB midsole, same as you would get in the Endorphin Speed or Endorphin Pro 3. In fact, this I would say it's more like an Endorphin Speed if you beefed it up and put some trail lugs on it. The outsole is what makes it a trail shoe. I think there is kind of a flexible rock guard in there, but it is not something that I really feel. I more feel the PIBA midsole, although not so much like you would in a road shoe. It just gives you a little bit more bounce. It's like a performance trail shoe. If I were doing a mountain ultra where there's going to be a lot of hiking involved and not as much performance running, I might go with the Topo Mountain Racer 3. But something where I'm really trying to race and be performance based, this would probably be my trail shoe of choice. So I know it has gotten mixed reviews with some reviewers, but I gotta say it works just fine for me. I do have a couple of other, faster, quote, faster trail races coming up. There's a 13-mile trail race I'm doing in January, on January 20th. These will probably be the shoe for that. Almost definitely be the shoe for that because they're definitely performance based. I'm probably going to wear road shoes for Umstead Trail Marathon because that's mostly on big wide bridle trails with only a little bit of single track. So I hope that helps with, I guess I should talk about the outsole. So there's the outsole there. It's got some good lugs. It's not quite as tacky as the Mega Grip I have on the Topo Mountain Racer, but it's tacky enough. It would be a great shoe for going road to trail. How about that? Today, with the trail conditions being just a tad soft, as I was saying to some other runners, it was the perfect level of soft trails today. Like it rained a lot yesterday, but there was a lot of time for a lot of that rain to either kind of soak in or evaporate away. So the ground was soft, but it was not slippery and it wasn't moving out from under me. It was, these were great for that. I felt like I had plenty of dig without getting lost in the soft ground. I think both of the shoes would have been fine. I just felt like if you're going from road races and want to go to an all-trail race, this would be a good transition shoe for you if you want to kind of get that road racing vibe in a dedicated trail shoe, the Endorphin Rift. I'm interested to see what changes they make in the second version in 2024, assuming they do a second version. So that's the end of my shoe talk. Khan is definitely wanting me to pull him this way. I think he wants more of a walk. He doesn't want to quite go home yet. So I'm going to make sure he's all taken care of. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or share, and ding the bell for notifications.